Greetings, theists and non-theists. I am the Atheist and this topic video is I'm going to be responding to dfpolis's response to my epistemology challenge for the supernatural. He made about 11 comments and or 11 points, and it fills up the whole page. So if you don't mind if I read from these notes, and I'll discuss why he doesn't even really address the whole challenge at all. Okay. So number one, the first problem of your definition of naturalism. As I said, again, it's a very general and broad definition, but we'll discuss it more. Physics holds that order is lost on thermodynamic processes. Not quite true, but okay. Likewise, CS hold to causality. Ex nihilo fit. In other words, out of nothing comes nothing. No being does more than its capacity to do. By definition, that is true. So it's unclear whether that is a difference, let alone a decisive one. Calvinists hold to predestination determinism, while many physicists do not. Again, no decisive difference. As a theist physicist, I am committed to mathematical laws. How have you set naturalism apart from theism? Okay, that's not my job. That's the whole point of the challenge. It's not I am setting apart. I want you to set it apart. But okay, let's address some of the points here. The theists hold to causality, in the sense that you'll explain later that A is before B, but it's not really causality if it has no explanatory power. I can say that gravity explains the orbits of the moons, and I can do that through demonstrations of mathematical predictions and experimentation and likewise. But if you said, God is the cause of life, as many theists do, we ask you how, or how did he do it, and there is actual no answer. So in that effect, the causality is simply unknown. It's just, well, God did it. So in effect, if you will say that you believe in causality, not in the way that is explanatory. Again, you said no being does, then that it has capacity to do. Well, again, I said definitionally that's true. I don't do more than definitionally true, and neither does omniscience. I'll see Theo's Fage's video on omniscience, or somebody did a video. There's going to be a link in a description box. But he basically shows that the whole entire definition of omnipotence is scaled back to the work and mean pretty much anything. Second, it is very clear that theists hold that how God places above nature causes it prior, if you will, to the effects. God is continually willing on the ongoing operation of the laws of nature, maintains the universe in being. See my video 15. I'll get to that. Human minds, by willing to perturb the laws of atomic motions of our bodies, you may believe them, but they're certainly not vague claims. Okay, so God is just simply prior to natural laws. Really, that doesn't really tell us anything, or tell us how it works, or tell us how we can actually know it. Again, epistemology challenge, right? And of course, he mentions his video that God is continually ongoing the operations of laws of nature. In other words, he posits as God is the reason why the laws of the universe are conserved or act in the way they do. Again, no, I don't agree. The whole argument of the videos to me is the God of the gaps, whether you agree or not. Again, just to say God is the definition, by definition, is the thing that causes laws to be uniform, does not solve that issue. To me, it is the laws are uniform because it's logical. Because if the laws were always in flux, then the identity, such like the law of identity, would be violated quite routinely. So that is not a possible state of affairs. Okay, third, everything that is said we know to exist is made of matter and energy, and it is a factual error. Really? Consider the law of nature, the laws of physics, which are an approximation of human descriptions, the laws that cause the Big Bang, and the time development of the cosmos and the evolution of the species. Is a categorical error to think of them as made of matter or fields, since they are real, because without their action there would be no scientific explanation of these things. The fallacy of reification. Okay, the laws aren't laws, they're just descriptions of how matter behaves. They're descriptions of certain phenomenon. They don't cause these phenomenon to happen. So your whole example is moot. So again, the only thing that we know of is matter and energy. It's not a factual error. It is true, we don't know of anything else, matter or energy. No philosophic theist defines the supernatural in the way of defying understanding. Again, really. Rather than naturalist uses the term of disparagement and remove any sensible meaning. This only creates or destroys a straw man. Spiritual means intentional. We all grasp what we know and will, and most understand these mental acts implies intentional agents. Whether it's a disparagement or not, it's pretty much a moot point. And you say that theisms don't define the supernatural in the way that defies understanding. But they defy the laws of physics. They defy the things that we so far can know about. If God was to heal an amputee, that would violate the conservation of energy. So if an arm would magically grow in front of you, that's matter generation that it previously did not exist, unless God had, for whatever reason, the person munching down on massive amounts of quantity of food before the one would grow. But otherwise, that would be a violation of the law of the conservation of energy. So it does operate in the way that we don't understand via the natural processes. So again, that point is refuted. So it is not a straw man. It is accurate. So if you don't want that to be, you don't think this is the case, then you actually have to define what the supernatural is in a tight definition. This is not my burden. It is y'all's, because you believe that there is a supernatural realm, or a realm that is beyond that of nature. So how would we know about this realm? Give us an ontology for it, and give us the epistemological means to which we can know about it. Otherwise, the challenge is not met. Whether as you're defining spiritual as intentional, really that's just your philosophy. That's definitely not present in some Christian understandings or any other stand understandings. Really, this guy makes lots of videos about that. So, and then you say that the acts imply intentional agents. Again, how do we know this? How do you know that? How do you get beyond the God of Gaps arguments? How are we able to say that we actually rationally understand these intentional agents? The God of Gaps arguments are hypothetical. The classical proofs are not hypothetical, but deductive. This objection is inapplicable. No, it isn't. As you make in your video, when you argue for the conservation of laws, you say that God is by definition that. Well, God in your argument is undefined. So it is a God of the gap. So you can make a God of the gap argument in a deductive argument if you leave the terms undefined. So it is actually possible. You can say, well, therefore we don't know, therefore God. And a lot of the times arguments that argue for theism or argue for the supernatural do make that sort of leap. Whether you reject this, again, it's all about how do you go about certifying the supernatural and making sure that you are not making these logical errors. That's the point of the video. In regarding false claims, Aquinas is clear that Anselm's ontological argument is unsound. Yes, we agree there. And Paley's arguments for design is a hypothetical and inconclusive. Deductive arguments such as those of Aristotle, Buddhist logicians, Ibn Sina, Aquinas, see that in my video 15, are sound and true in conclusion. Well, I've refuted that. Your whole argument is based upon, well, the laws need to be conserved, and I say by definition that is God. That's not a valid argument, sorry. Unfalsifiable claims. Number 7. Unfalsified claims are made by the naturalists wherever they purpose a multiverse to avoid the fine-tuning argument. So the sword cuts both ways. First, the logical fallacy of tu quoque. So just because naturalist does it doesn't excuse you from it. They're wrong in doing so, but you're also wrong in that the multiverse theory is unfalsifiable. At least it's not directly falsifiable. But if you prove certain other aspects of the multiverse theory, such as supersymmetry, and that sort of, from supersymmetry you inherently get a multiverse. The equations can't work out any other way. So in proving supersymmetry, you can prove a multiverse. And if you want to go into more of the fallacies of the fine-tuning argument, I would actually suggest Victor J. Sterringer's book on this, recent book on this, on the fallacies of the fine-tuning. It really is a great big problem there. So, number 8, we can know what God wants from us potentials in our individual natures. Why would he will a potency that he never wanted to actualize? We have free will, so no single course is dictated. We can choose our potential over another, as will respect other people. Okay. So basically we know God's will is that we do whatever we want. And how is this would be different if God didn't exist? We would still be doing what we want. So to me, that is pretty much a failure of logic there. Point 9. It makes no sense to say doctrines must be unique to be true. Yeah. But if you predict something that is could be also be in a prediction of another model, a theory, is it a prediction of something else as well, then you cannot say, well, when this occurs, it's evidence for my theory, when it's also equally as evidence for something else. So making unique predictions helps you to actually narrow it to actually your theory as being true, rather than just proving a whole set, of making a possibility of several sets. That is all that is the point is being made. All human acts are fallible. Science also suffers from this bias. Really, dude? Really? Really? Science is a seeking of elimination of biases. Yeah, humans make mistakes. Like the whole neutrino faster than light incident. They said, hey, we were making a mistake somewhere we don't know. And they found out, well, some of their instruments on the channeling of light through the fiber cables wasn't connected right, and that eliminated the anomalous result. They did science, and they found the error. So what you're talking about is really a shame, since you claim to be a physicist, and you talk about science in such an anti-intellectual way. Miracles are for the recipients. By faith is a definition unprovable. Well, we agree on something again. So what? That's the whole point, huh? Not making an argument for faith. You are. At least some theists are. And so, there we have it. Dennis Polis, thank you for your response, but you did not meet the challenge.